just setting up the Floyd rows and intonating the strings and making sure everything is in tune, so that when we play this guitar on stage and we're moving around a lot, it's basically has enough tension on it in the front and in the back to where it can float and just remain in a tune. I took the liberty of doing the bottom string, the 6th string. So we're just gonna go through and do each string. Now when you're intonating, if you can see here on the screen, you wanna make sure that your open note is in tune and you wanna hit the 12th fret. Some people say that you wanna do like the 12th harmonic, natural harmonic, to like make sure it's in tune. But I like to hit just the open string, just because, you know, I can hear the difference between the notes. And you want to go down and do this for every string. So like, if I'm hitting the open note and it's in tune, and then I hit the 12th and it's sharp, like it's going right now, that means I'm going to want to move right here, the saddle. You're going to want to move it when it's sharp, like it's going right now. You're going to want to move it away. And the reason I say that is because somebody said it this way: if something's sharp, like somebody's going to stab you, you want to get away from them, right? You kind of want to avoid that. So same concept here. I don't know, it's something that somebody said to me once. It's easy to remember, and it's common sense type of thing. Now when you have a flat, like let's say if the note was going the other way, flat, basically what do flat things do? They drop. So we want to drop that scale length of that saddle to the nut. We want to move that saddle closer to the nut. So basically down. Sharp, you go sharp, down, or flat, you go down. So yeah, that's pretty much it for intonation. So we're just gonna go ahead and make sure all these strings are intonated, and then I'll show you guys how to set up your Floyd rows and basically loosen the springs or tighten them if they need to be tightened once you remove this cork that I have crafted to block off the tremolo. So we'll fast forward to this. That's the pain in the ass about these. They don't want to fucking stay sturdy, and that's why tension is important. Like, you need to have enough tension so that the springs back here are pulling on each string the same amount that the strings are pulling on the fucking strings, or the strings are pulling on the springs the same amount as the springs are pulling on the strings. You want it to be balanced, 100% balanced, which is funny because I'm a Libra. It's funny that I would want to play a Floyd Rose because a lot of people don't want to play.
Why was I just thinking about that?
Really?
Yeah, in my head I was like, fucking Libra.
Yeah, I know. It's a pain in the ass, man, but you could do some cool stuff with this fucking Floyd Rose. You want it to stay in that blue. Like, even if it moves up or down a little bit, you want it to, like, stay there. See how every time I hit it? But instead of wasting time doing this shit, what I should do is put all the strings on so that the tension on the neck evens out, because I've noticed that's what's happening. This thing is a pain in the ass. She's high maintenance, what can I say? All the beautiful women. It's funny. It's true.
What's that supposed to mean?
Because it's true. It's like men don't realize like how hard women work to look good. Even if they are naturally beautiful, girls still do their hair and their makeup. Not just because they're, I want guys to look at me, but they're just trying to look good. They enjoy looking good.
I'm glad you understand that concept, that women don't do it for other people, they do it for themselves.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm sure there's some women out there who
guys,
do
a lot of guys, no offense guys. Well, I'm gonna maybe I won't. Because talking and hanging out.
Yeah, but this would take forever if you did.
No, I mean, this isn't gonna take that long. The longest this video will be is 30 minutes.
Oh my god.
It only ever takes me 30 minutes to set up my guitar. Which isn't that long considering everything that I have to do. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit. Oh, and by the way, you can see that. A cool trick I learned from, I think I was watching Fluff's YouTube channel, and just so your strings are in there nice and good, what I do is I go over once with enough slack over here on the string to kind of like tighten it and wind through it a couple of times. And that way, right here, the top of this, and when I go around, it kind of pinches the string underneath it. Like, watch, like so. Basically, the top wind and the bottom wind are pinching the string that goes in between it, just right now when I wound it around it. So it's nice and secure. The string's not gonna slip out and all of a sudden you're gonna have a loose string on this side, even though you're gonna have this clamped down. You want stability on a guitar. So I'm just kind of like tuning them to go, like, I'm going through them, and then I'll intonate each one. Because it works better when the guitar has tension on it already, and all you're doing is loosening and tightening one string, the tension stays on there. So yeah. By the way, my wife and I were talking about, like, the business side of things in music, and, like, for our careers, what we want to do, and, like, how we can kind of sort of help each other out along our careers. And being in a band is funny because it's like being in it's like running a business. It's like running a brand. And filming on YouTube and kind of self-marketing is a good way to like spread awareness about your brand. Like, hey guys, I'm building a brand, and I kind of want to take you guys on this adventure with me. So you like film the whole process. So as far as brands go, we were talking about like how like a good way to kind of market yourself, or like, well, if you're in a marriage, like, well, we're married, so we're talking about like how we can help each other further each other's careers. And I was telling her the way we could do it is like we focus on the brand that we feel has the more potential for the time being. So like Steph eventually wants to have her own brand, right, honey?
Mm-hmm.
And she wants to kind of be able to run it efficiently herself. So I was telling her, like, it depends on whatever you're selling to people. You kind of want to give yourself some experience so that you know how to deal with just any like merchandise, like customer interaction, or like just like if you were going to work a retail job, the first thing they ask you is, if you know, do you have retail experience? Like, have you worked at a retail store before? And if you haven't and they hire you, they'll train you. But when you've gained that experience already, you can basically you kind of already have a feel for what's going on in the new place that you're going to be working at. And I was telling her the same thing. Before you start your brand, maybe we could focus on the band's brand, and like you can kind of be my partner when it comes to like my side of things, and then selling merch and stuff and things like that. It will kind of give her an experience on how she wants to run her own brand. So it's like, and I know people might think like, hey, why do you want her? Why don't you focus on your dreams and let her focus on hers? But it's like, I totally agree. I want her to focus on her dreams too. But at the same time, I don't want her to go into it blindly either. Because she, you know, I love her. She's my wife, and I'm going to be affected by whatever she decides to do with her, you know, her work and her career. And the same thing on my end. It'll affect her. So we kind of have to like think things through methodically and plan things out a little bit more. And as far as like, you know, on the business side of things, it always behooves you to get, you know, some experience before you just dive into something. Like when I first picked up the guitar, I didn't just like pick up the guitar and start playing in a band on stage live. Although that does happen, because I know people who never played guitar in their life, well, at least at a church, and somebody's like, yeah, man, you can play, and they show them 4 chords and a strumming pattern, and they basically take it from there, and eventually they just get better and better and better, and I've seen it happen. It's crazy. People learn because there's a need, and they fill it. And it's happened in bands too. People, like, certain people will go from playing bass to guitar, or, you know, somebody will go from playing one instrument to playing drums or whatever because they just had to fill a need. It was like a time of desperate measures, I guess. And they're like, well, I really want to be a part of this band, so I'm going to work at it, what I need to do that. So yeah, I think it would be a good idea for her to help the band out and like sell merch and like take care of, you know, scheduling things and like just helping out, you know what I mean? Finding out everybody's schedule, what works for everybody. And then I'm talking about when things are a little bit further along. Like me and the guys can handle things now, but when the band gets really big and we are in meetings with people here, people there, we'll need somebody to handle the general, just like setting things up. And you usually have a manager for that, but there's like an in-between period to where you're like, you're making enough money to, you know, hire somebody for, you know, clerical things, and but you're not making enough money to hire like a manager that works for a record label or whatever. So I mean, it's just like one of those things you kind of have to play by ear, especially when it comes to like having somebody at your merch table. Some bands have a manager that handle things like that, like when it comes to like figuring out pricing and things like that, for like the next gig or whatever, or venues or whatever, or what's it called, or like talking to a promoter, trying to book an interview, things like that. So I mean, it's always good to have somebody who can talk to people for you when you're indisposed, you know, doing something else. Maybe you're already in an interview with somebody, you know what I mean, after a show, or you're in the dressing room, like coming out of a venue after you just, you know, finish your set and you're like unloading, and somebody wants to talk about like maybe, this happened to our band Moments Before Dawn after a show. That's kind of how we met Rachel. She went to one of our shows, watched our show. Rachel, the photographer, remember when you went with me?
Oh yeah, she's nice.
We met her at a show, and she came because she was Justin's friend, and then, you know, she asked us, hey, you guys, can I take pictures for you guys at your next show? And then we were like, cool, yeah, also we want to take a band photo. And it's just basically, that's essentially what it is. That's what happens. Like sometimes you just meet people and they see your brand and they're like, yeah, man, you have a really cool brand. Like, can I help you out with anything? These are the services I offer. And like, you have things happen like that all the time at shows. Like maybe a radio talk show host will see your show and they'll be like, hey, can I have you on the show? You know what I mean? I'll pay you for your time, blah, blah, blah. And that's pretty much it. That's how things work. That's the entertainment industry for you. But my goal is to have Steph kind of be the middleman before we, you know, before she can, like if we're paying her enough, or if we're making enough to like maintain us, then maybe when she feels like she can make a move on her brand, I'd say go for it. Because at the end of the day, it's her life, and she should be able to enjoy her life and do the career she wants to. Man, these strings are giving me trouble. Trouble.
My right arm is on fire.
No, you could have just held it on the table.
What do you mean?
You put your arms down on the table. The ice cream is melting, by the way.
Well, what can I do about that right now?
I don't know.
Exactly.
You can eat it with one hand and hold it with the other.
Well, that's too difficult.
Oh, you mother... Yeah. I just had a thought. You know, it's funny because there's a bunch of people who make videos on these. There's like a bunch of intonation videos. But I feel like people are so worried about how many views they're going to get. And like, I guess it's kind of true in the sense that your viewers don't have like the attention span to watch like a super long video. But I feel like there's some people who are chilling at home, man, and they're just like, after a long day of work, and they just want to watch something. And for the most part, most people who are into music would want to, like, if they watch a YouTuber and they like the stuff that they're putting out, they would want to sit there and kind of watch them and learn something educational. Because this is educational, right? Tuning an instrument, what do you think? Do you think
guess so.
Yeah, it's kind of educational. Because most of the time, if you learn about this, you would have to, like in old days, you would have to ask your guitar teacher. You know what I mean? If you were taking a class for guitar, you'd be like, hey, how do I intonate my guitar? Oh, I don't know, ask your guitar teacher. And you have to wait until you go see your guitar teacher when you go take lessons at Guitar Center, or wherever you take lessons. We have it so easy now. Us millennials, we have technology. We're like, I want to know how to do this. Okay, now I'm learning about it. Right? Are you bored? You look hella like...
I'm just chilling. I mean, my eyes are a little dry, but I'm fine. Do I really look like that?
You're just like... I'm sorry. I'm torturing my wife.
No, I could just feel it on my face. I'm like...
I'm forcing her to stay awake and record me. How freaking egotistical does that sound? Or not narcissistic does that sound?
Smoking a bowl again.
Hey man, I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing this for like people. Man, you know how many videos I watch?
I'm sorry that you're serving humanity. I forgot.
Well, I mean, people like to play guitar, and I know how to do things, and sometimes people ask me like, hey, how do you do this? Especially on Instagram. Hey, how do you do this? I see, like, your music sounds really good, and like, how do you tune your guitar? And people ask me that stuff all the time. They ask me what strings I use, especially at shows. They're like, hey, what are you using? What are you running, man? It's guitar nerds. People who really like playing guitar. That's like guys that are really into cars. Oh man, what are you running, man? What's in there? Oh, it's a freaking Hemi. Your dad was a freaking greasehead, huh?
Yeah, my dad was. He was always working on cars.
She purrs.
I'm into cars, but I'm like into like the vintage, like collectible area. I'm not like, ooh, supercars.
I like supercars.
I'm not into that.
Because it's just like a dream, you know what I mean? You know you're never gonna get it, like be able to have.
Well, you never
stuff.
know that.
No, I know you never know, but those things are built for like the 1%ers, man. People who can afford to, like, they're like trying to have the ultimate driving experience.
Honestly, I just want my vintage matte black Cadillac hearse from the 50s, and I will be happy.
You want to drive around in a freaking car?
Yeah, I do.
I want to drive around with a dead body.
I want a hearse so bad.
That homeless guy's gonna see you drive.
Oh my god!
He's like, oh my god!
You got some dead bodies.
So backstory, guys, we live in LA, and not the like necessarily greatest part of LA.
No, we live in Wilmington. We live in the asshole
of
California.
That's not nice because there's plenty of nice, cool people here, but homeless guy saw Steph coming back from the laundromat with a big suitcase, and there was clothes in there, and he swore that there was a dead body in there.
Yeah, he just came up to me, and he's like, hey man, like, I don't even remember what he said. How did he word it? He's just like, hey man, do you got like a dead body in there? I'm like, no. He's like, can you open it up? Can I see? I'm like really scared. You have a dead body in there, man. Like, genuinely freaked out. I'm just like...
People, man. Something in the water. Just kidding.
In the air. I swear to God, there's something in the LA, in like the water, the air, something. It makes people fucking
People are going to
insane.
start like having conspiracy theories.
Bruh.
No, Steph, it's just the area.
No, I know. I'm just being dramatic.
California's hella expensive, so a lot of people end up homeless, and that drives them insane.
Honestly, it's really sad.
It is sad.
But like, I'm also kind of scared. Like, low-key scared. I don't know, I'm not used... I mean, I'm used to like homeless in Fall River, but they weren't like mentally ill. You know what I mean? A lot of them were just like on drugs, honestly, and you could tell they were like doped out. But they weren't like I feel like some of these people, it's like really obvious that they might be having like schizophrenic episodes. In Fall River, it's not like that. They're just on heavy drugs.
We live in a fucked up world. That's what's up.
Yeah, you think?
That's what's
but don't let the shittiness of the world like make your heart turn to stone.
Yeah, man, because you can still live a pretty good life as long as you work hard. That's just life. People are like, I don't want to work hard, but it's like,
well, you're not going to get anywhere if you don't work for something. You're not going to have a good life
if you don't work hard.
Shit's not going to just get handed to you. I'm sorry.
I mean, for some, let's be honest, for some of us.
Yeah, but that's not like the majority. That's not most people. You know? And you can have all the money in the world, but there are certain things that if you just don't. Yeah, that too.
Like, I'll be honest with you guys. I'm pretty poor right now. But
yeah, we're considered under poverty.
I mean, we're not. We're doing all right. We're getting by.
Okay, we have part-time minimum wage jobs.
I know, but other people in other countries have like, if that's minimum wage, I wonder what the fuck their fucking wage is.
Yeah, like the people in China and these huge factories that make your clothing and work in horrible, shitty fucking conditions.
People in Mexico, people in a lot of fucking places. It's crazy. It's sad, but unfortunately, that's the world we live in.
There's some people that just don't even have like clean water. Like even like little things like having a toilet or a shower.
Hey, my stepdad grew up in a third world country like that.
Wait, where did he grow up?
He grew up in the Dominican Republic. That's, in a sense, that's a third world country because he grew up.
Really, that's crazy.
Yeah, he grew up. His house was dirt floors, man. He grew up in the country, like straight up. Like you want to talk about hillbilly?
I feel like
he's out in the boonies. But it was the Caribbean, so it's nice. And
I don't know. It's kind of amazing in a way because it like really humbles people, and it's like they never had to. Well, they kind of just like. Well, did they have clean water?
My stepdad. At least? Well, they had to go get their water and boil it.
I feel like they didn't. I don't know. It's just something about they lived such like a raw life, just completely connected to nature. They didn't eat processed foods. They weren't on the internet 24/7.
Yeah, I know. And a lot of those people are better for it. Like his parents don't want to come here because they're afraid they're just gonna get sick and die.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because could you imagine stuff if they come here? There's certain shots they don't have. So if they come here, it's just gonna be like, and they're old. Their immune systems aren't the same.
Yeah, that is true. I guess. I can't imagine what it's like over there. I have no idea like what it's like over there though. I remember in Massachusetts.
He'll be the first to tell you it wasn't easy.
Yeah.
Like honestly, I wish there was YouTube videos up when I was learning how to play guitar. Like there was, but there wasn't like a lot. There wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't like how it is now. And the production value now is a lot better.
Yeah, like people put a lot of hard work.
Yeah, like I mean, these people
like me, I put a lot of hard work into my videos, and I do everything on my iPhone. Okay.
Anyways.
Gotta have funny shit like that to just like slap in front of him, keep them laughing.
Interesting.
I just realized I'm in the same key of that one Ray Charles song.
What?
He goes. Dun, 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 dun.
What song?
Tell me what I say right now. Dun, dun, dun,
who?
Dun, 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 dun. It's Ray Charles. You don't know who Ray Charles is?
Is that the blonde guy with the piano?
Blonde guy? The blind guy?
Oh wait, no, that's Stevie Wonder.
Stevie Wonder is not blonde. He's Stevie.
I said the blind guy.
Yeah, the blind guy. Ray Charles is blonde too. They were both blind.
You keep saying blonde. It's blind.
I said blind.
You said blind.
I didn't say blind.
Yes, you did.
I'll see. I'll check it when I'm editing the video.
Yeah, I know that you can't talk.
What? I can't talk?
Yeah. I can just hear all
the. Just one.
I bet you are.
Oh my god. Alright, so I've done all the intonation. I've gone through here and moved each one of these saddles, like in the position that they're supposed to be, and every string is pretty much in tune. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove these clamps. Well, I'm going to tighten the nut first, obviously. These nuts, you always want to remember, don't.
These nuts?
You always want to remember to tighten them just to where they're snug. Don't like over tighten them, because you don't know how many people have told me that they've broken these because they over tighten them. It snaps, and I've broken one too. If you can see this black one here, it had to be replaced because of the amount of times I've intonated this guitar. Sometimes metal just gets weak, especially when it's cold and then hot and then cold and hot, and living in the Northeast happens all the time. But yeah, so just torque them to spec. So now that everything's nice and tight, I'm going to go to the back of the guitar and start loosening the springs in the back until the cork, or you know what, I can just do it by eye. Take the cork out. By the way, this is a makeshift cork. I think that they should make these pre-made for tremolo blocks, but maybe I should just do it. Start a brand thing and like find somebody who would be willing to do it, and then I could sell them on the YouTube channel. So if you know anybody trying to sell stuff, hit me up. I will send me a couple too. It's advertisements, free advertisement. Why are you saying no? Why are you shaking your head?
Why are you always trying to sell everybody something?
Well, it's not about selling people stuff. It's just, it would be nice to, I use this stuff all the time. I use it all the time, so it would be nice if somebody sent me things that I use all the time, and then I can basically sell it on my channel for them. Like, how I use it and what it's good for. And like people will buy it because people will be like, oh, I need that. I have a tremolo like that. And changing the strings is a pain in the ass. So if I have that, it'll be that much easier. Or like wood blocks. So I don't know, man. But you gotta market yourself stuff, otherwise you're not gonna make any money. You wanna make money so we're well off.
Yeah, is that all it comes down to is money?
No, it's not. It's just like I'm teaching them something for free, right? So
Yeah, but that's really entitled.
I know, but I need to get paid. And if they want me to continue making videos, they need to hit that subscribe button and like this video and actually watch it all the way through with ads and all, so that I can continue making free content for them to learn. Because in a sense, if they went to a guitar school, they would have to pay, or if they got lessons from a person who taught guitar, they'd have to pay to learn this shit, basically. So they're learning this shit for free on the internet. And like Daddy always says, nothing in this world comes for free. Unfortunately. So basically, guys, what you want to do is loosen these springs back here until your guitar's in tune. But you see how I did it a little bit too much? So now I need to continue making sure it's right. I need to tighten both ends on the claw. There's a claw back here with springs hooked to it, and that controls the tension. But I need to make sure, yeah, it's in playing position. So when you do this in playing position, because this is the position that your Floyd Rose is going to be in tune to. So when you're sitting down and you have it on your lap, you want it to be in tune so that when you're recording, everything's in tune. When you're recording a song. And that's basically what I'm doing this setup for. The guys and I want to record an EP, so I have to set up my guitar so they sound killer on record. And that was a little flat, but that's okay, because I can start to tune it, fine tune it here on, let's get this on my lap. I can start to fine tune it with these little black knobs or your fine tuners. So now I can just sit here and tune the guitar in playing position. Oh, this went sharp again. Yes, this needs to be loosened again. Tighten. And your first try, if you're doing this for the first time, it'll take you a couple times to get it like completely perfect. But you want your bottom string to at least be in tune, because you want the tension on the strongest string. So you might have to adjust one more than the other. See? Now it's in tune. Now every other string I can tune to that bottom string. And it's always easier this way. And the G string is always weird. It's like, whoa, no, I'm not in tune. Oh wait, I am in tune. See, look. Because the Floyd Roses are so sensitive. And it's in tune. Look at that. Oh, it's weird. It wants to like go in out of tune because I'm moving. And when I'm doing this, guys, as I move down the strings, I always tune each string a little flat so they all line up at the end. Because each string is being pulled on, like the bridge is being pulled on. So when you loosen a string, it goes forward. And then so you have to kind of like go back and forth to like equal it out until it's perfect. See now? It's perfect now. Now I can record. But anyway, thank you guys for watching, and be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll catch you in the next freaking video. Later.